Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode here on the CubedHost server. I've just spent my morning hanging out doing one of my favourite things, which is placing down slabs and stairs, stone and andesite, and just creating these random formations that look very natural. They look really good, and we now have a cave leading from one place to another, from the sand to the snow, two extremes, two different scales on the heat map of biomes, and the path here at the bottom starts out as sand and then works its way over to this white concrete powder and transitions to snow. It's not the easiest of transitions, but I believe that it worked, and this cave that it goes through looks pretty cool as well. You may notice some polished andesite above the light sources here, which are end rods. This is something I've seen a lot on the Let's Play Minecraft Together server. People like to throw in polished andesite in and amongst these blocks, and I've always avoided it because it looks quite structural, but here I wanted to try it a little bit just by using it with the end rods, and I think I might try it some more because it fits in pretty well with those blocks, which makes a lot of sense. It's a similar tone. And here we are in the snowy area. We're going to be working on this again, I believe, later in this episode. But for right now, there is something that I'd like to show you. Yes, this block right here. So I was reading my comments from the last episode, and a fantastic suggestion that I saw was to mix in some diorite around here. Apparently, it will make the snow and the stone blend together pretty well. So I figured just a few places here and there around on this side, we'll throw in some of this stuff and see how it works. And I've got to say, when it's on the ground next to the snow, it's looking pretty alright. Up here as well, it probably looks good. I mean, the couple of blocks we placed over there are okay. So I will go around and just dispense a few of these here and there. So my dispersal here has been a little bit sparing, and I think that's worked out well. It doesn't actually look as good when you see it popping out over there. However, when you're sort of walking along and it's down at the snow level like this, it looks really good when it's at the level of the snow. So all of that's looking great, and then it got me thinking that the diorite will look a different colour on a map from the stone, I assume, unless that hasn't been considered, because this is actually the same block as stone. It's just got a different damage value, although all of that stuff is going to get replaced in Minecraft 1.13, and every block will have its own name, and the number system is going to disappear. That's going to be interesting for sure. If we come into here, though, we are due a map update for sure, and it's going to be fairly large area that we're updating here, including some of this rocky stuff having snow on top of it. Now, that probably isn't quite going to cover this little bit here, and maybe the snow goes out as far as that, so I think what we should do is take these two maps as well. Let's clear room on our hotbar to pick them up, and as you can see, I was about to say it, it gets scanned straight away. All I need to do is walk over into this corner, get a little bit closer to it. I'm going to have to go outside to update all of it though, aren't I? That'll do for now. Let's update that one just by opening it, and this one should be a similar deal as well. Yep, you can see the snow line there. Fantastic. There is a large scanning radius basically. Let's go put these back. There's our snow. This one over here. I don't think anything actually changed on that one. And there you go, looking pretty fantastic, isn't it? This elevator over here, by the way, I've never been able to fix it. It works in all the other positions in my base. This one here, though, just don't want to work. So whenever I come through here, I have to throw an ender pearl. It's not the best of things. And you know what else ain't the best of things? This big, black, ugly blob that we got hanging out in the middle of our base. This Enderoni right here, if you remember, a long time ago, we went over to the Plastic Fantastic Island, built some giant Endermen over there who were just dropping off some diorite for Iskall. You know that's his favourite block. And then he built this fella right here, in the middle of my base. And I said we're going to be removing it, and we are. Today is that day, my friends. As always, I hope you enjoyed the time-lapse, and on a recent episode of Let's Play Minecraft Together, where we have been doing lots of big-time time-lapses with all of us playing together and working on projects, that has been super fun to make those. On a recent episode of that, I did a tutorial on how to do time-lapse replays using the replay mods, and it actually went a lot better than I thought. And then I had a load of positive feedback, and I sort of commented on saying I might do a little mini tutorial in Hermitcraft sometime, but I think what I'll do is in the future there'll be a time where I'm working on a time-lapse and I can say, this will be an opportune moment to make an actual proper, standalone replay mod tutorial for those of you that are interested in making video like that. And basically, in doing a little test run, I realized I'm actually not too bad at explaining all the things you've got to think about, right? Because you've got to do the time-lapse from the perspective of playing and thinking about what you're doing, what order you're doing in it, where's the camera going to be, and then you've got to go into the replay mod and program all the camera angles, make sure everything's in frame, time things like me placing the TNT at the beginning. There's so much to it, but the good news is we can do that. And I just need to get a little bit tidied up here. Now you can see I've got some random blocks in my inventory. Think I'm just going to chuck them into these chests over here. All of this stuff is to be sorted in the sorting system behind me. So at some point I need to just do a little bit of sorting. But that won't be today because I have been inspired recently by the Hardcore Hermits series. And I think that we should build a little memento over in the gaming district. By the way, the Season 5 Nether Hub, I believe, is now complete. The ceiling has been done, the borders have been put in all the way around the edge, and I believe the best part of this hub is that wither beast right over there, clawing its way out of a dark portal. Crazy stuff. Behind this right here, though, False has been working on the hub, so that's the main part right there. And then there's these back tunnels, and this is rather new to me, and there is a very Zelaphy looking tunnel here. It's literally a Zelaph face that you warp through. It's a very strange sight. There is also a cobweb under a chest, some sort of mysterious contraption. I don't know what on earth that does. There's the sign there as well. And so anyway, False has been renovating this tunnel. This bit here links to Joe Hills' area. And then the gaming district, I believe is what we're calling it this season, is over here on the right hand side, and this is absolutely gorgeous. I think I showed this a while back when it was unfinished, and kind of looks like it's finished now, right? And this thing is fantastic. That's the game that we built right there and played with Rendog, and there's references to all sorts of other games. It's fantastic. Now, if you caught the last episode, we were over here again. I kind of felt like I was done with this area for a while, and then I saw that Mumbo had come and built his own game into the area, and then I kicked into the gear and came over here and sorted out like the borders of his game and tidied up some other stuff, adding in some materials over here, and it got me all sorts of inspired to come back into this area and build something. And it's not a game that we're going to be building, it's a game that we've already played, the Hardcore Hermits, and there'll be a spoiler alert right about here. If you haven't watched Hardcore Hermits, well, we got killed towards the end and we finished in second place to the team that mistakenly played with ultra hardcore mode instead of regular hardcore. So we kind of got our butts kicked twice. And there will be more seasons of Hardcore Hermits. We've got more things planned for it. So I thought somewhere in this area what we should build is some kind of memento area to each of the seasons that we're going to play, and like a little place for statues for the winners, something like that. So if I pillar up here and just look around at the paths, I'm not sure what's going to provide us with enough space, to be fair. Maybe what we'll do is use from that edge to this edge over here, and then create a big rectangle shape for a structure that I want to build. And then that structure might just be an entrance to something underground where we could have rooms for each of the seasons. But at the moment, I'm getting a little bit carried away. I'm going to walk around here and figure out exactly what it is I want to do. I'm liking the jump boost here. You can sort of do 1, 2, 3, 4 like that at a time. So building this little ziggurat had me jumping around. Well, I say ziggurat, this is the beginnings of a ziggurat, doing some measurements, some figuring out of foundations. We are going to build a stone brick structure like we have done quite a few times before making ziggurats. This is just like a little miniature temple to give you the idea that there's something to go inside and check out. So maybe here or maybe on the other sides we'll have an entrance to this thing that you can walk into, and then up the top there we're going to have 2 H's for Hardcore Hermits. I think I'm going to change this mycelium out for for grass and green wool perhaps, and it's given me a real opportunity to get rid of more mycelium. The war on mycelium continues. We're going to rip this stuff out over here, and what we're probably going to be doing is ripping out a lot of the stuff over on this side here because we are given an opportunity to carve off more of the land. So we're going to extend in this direction for as far as the ziggurat needs to go, and then it will make a left turn to cut it off and go over here. So around the what sheep is looking at me game, I know I've just said the name of that wrong. Please correct me in the comments, because is that sheep looking at me? No, I got it. See, I remembered. But around here, we're going to change this out with, what are we using again? It's wool and concrete powder. We're going to do black. We haven't done black anywhere, and it'll match the interiors of the game, and so that's what we're going to replace the mycelium with over here. So we get to remove more and more of it. Then I noticed, hey, this bit over here needs removing and replacing with green. So yeah, we get to tidy up this area a lot, which is what I do, because you know I'm not a fan of the mycelium at all. My goodness me, that's a lot of black right there. Looks pretty fitting for this game, and now there's a lot of green over here. The colours have fallen into place. It's looking neat and organised, and we can take out more and more of this disgusting mycelium. So we've got this odd, like, slaver of land going over there that I doubt anyone is ever going to use, and we're going to rip all of this stuff out, and boy oh boy, do I like the sound of that. Please keep in mind that we are not making a work of art here. We're making something simple and straightforward, and I feel like a rectangular ziggurat, or whatever you want to call it, is a strange old thing. This is the middle of it right here. It happens to line up with this path, which is cool, and I think we'll have a staircase going down so we can make a nice big area on the inside here for us to build a memento. Now, I was playing around with the idea of stairs, but I didn't really like it. I thought the square blocks on the other side looked a lot nicer. So we shall have a walkway up on either side, and then these entrances on those sides as well. Now, these markers right here are for where we're going to put the letters H and H for Hardcore Hermits, and I'm hoping it's going to look alright. Again, we're not making a work of art over here. We're being straightforward and practical, and I think that should be 3 blocks on the bottom, the bar across the middle, and then 3 blocks up the top. And thanks to that jump boost, it's nice and easy. Let's go put the other one in place. 2 and 3. There we go. Those are our 2 letters, H and H. I was going to try and land on that ledge. Never mind. Not looking particularly impressive, is it? I might have to rethink that, but it'll do for now. I think I might move them closer together or something like that. But before we get to building more of this, I actually want to make another marked out area, and that is going to be for this beacon over here. So while I've been looking at it, I've been having strange ideas running through my head that I think I'd rather show you than just explain. So beacons are often seen like this, big lumps of metal just sitting around. Very rarely are they incorporated into something or decorated. And it got me thinking about putting this beacon up in the air. And then I remembered that beacons could have a beacon beam go through them. And so then I had this idea of an upside down beacon, which then became 2 beacons. And anyway, we're going to have a beacon, wow, down here on the ground. And I'm going to fill this all in with some white blocks to kind of match the beacon up above. And then that means you can walk over here and change what you want the beacon to be. And then we have a sort of upside down and upwards beacon just floating there. I mean, like I said, it was just an idea that came to mind and I wanted to build it. So anyway, over here, I should have some beacons. Actually, it's probably in my valuables chest. And we're going to use 2 of these just for decorational purposes. Yes, so this idea is ridiculous. We are now using 3 beacons for 1 effect. But what we have is, yeah, a mirrored beacon. It's not as obvious on the bottom. You can see it's the wrong way around, but that, to me, is just hilarious. I'm just going to leave that there. It can be whatever it is, and I think it would be interesting to see what the other hermits think it is. Alright, I've filled in the floor. It is what it is. It's white. It's kind of cool, actually. I like the idea of there being several of these, and you sort of walk up to them, and they're beacon stations, and you can just change it to whatever you want. But anyway, if we look over here, you can see that I've come up with a Hardcore Hermits logo that looks pretty awesome. Thing is, it looks better when you're higher up, and that is because I've designed this thing to be kind of odd. As you can see here, the bottom of the H's are longer than the top of them, and it looks really good when you're above it looking down. So I'm half wondering if I should flip that so this thing is a little bit taller, and then the lime you see at the top there goes in the top part. But yeah, popped onto play.xisumavoid.com, just hung out over there doing a little bit of building, went through several phases, and eventually came to this sort of the H and the H with the line through the middle, kind of starting to make a diamond shape, and then putting this strike through the middle to kind of complement that invisible shape that's there. And then I just two-toned it, and I tried a few different colours as well, and all of them look pretty good, and now I've managed to fall into this game. As I replace the colours here, you can see something that I was doing before. I was working with iron blocks behind there, and also some glass as well. I was trying to create something a little bit industrial, but as you go through the process of trial and error, you eventually find your way to something that looks cool. This one on the top here I think is a little brighter than what I originally had. But yeah, there you go. That's what I first had, and then I changed it with purple and pink. And I think that works because the colours are a little similar to reds. And it's the two-tone thing. When the two colours are closer together, it looks really good. But that was the second iteration, and then I changed it to green. But what I think we'll do is we're going to lower this like so. Oh, it's actually super simple, isn't it? I thought I might have to rebuild the whole thing. Wait a minute. If we have it like that, we've got 1, 2, 3 blocks there and 2 above. And then it will swap it around. So 2 below, 3 above. Let's hope this looks good. So, classic mistake when you're playing in creative mode is not to think about perspective. I've been looking at it from back here. We're going to be looking at this thing from even lower than this. And as you drop down, it starts to make more sense, right? Let's just clear a little area so we can get even lower. That's the kind of angle we're looking at. And it makes it look like this area is just about as big as that one, because the edge there kind of cuts part of it off. So I think that's what we'll do. We'll hop onto Hermitcraft and we'll change that. I'm flip-flopping here a little bit. I'm starting to think it might actually look better the other way around. No, that actually really does look quite good. I think if you were looking at it straight on, it would make more sense for the H middle bit to be higher, but from down here, that really works a wonder. One thing it doesn't have is lighting, and I'm not sure where exactly I'd be able to hide some up there. Well, it'll be something from below and not a lot up top, but it'll probably do. Yeah, that gives it a little something. That works. I'm starting to run out of steam a little bit here. There is a classic problem in this game where you start building and then your ideas get bigger than your builds. But anyway, I've used these materials right here to create a hardcore heart down here. And as you can see, it's rather big, and the way that I would envision this being part of the build means the build would have to be a lot bigger itself to make this look smaller. So after I've built it, I've tried to dig out as much space as I can, and my plans are to have rooms that tell you about each of the different seasons. So you could walk down onto here, and then there could be a room over here that's like a little memento with armor stands, some heads of the winning players from the winning team, and it could tell you a little bit about that season. So at this point, I don't want to get too carried away with the design because I feel like I might need to reiterate a few things here, but we will build a sort of temporary one in this space, and you can see exactly what it is I'm getting at. So if all goes to plan, this episode will be coming out on a Tuesday. The following day would be a day that I normally stream, however it could be a snapshot day. I have other plans as well, so either Wednesday or Thursday I will be streaming, and most likely what I'm going to do is come down here and finish all of this area right here. At the moment what we have is a rather wimpy little display area. It's just a mock-up idea, and of course we'll do something that's bigger, more detailed, it'll look nicer, it'll all fit together. And that's what I plan on doing in that live stream. But anyway, it's going to be something like this, a little memento to the last moments of the winning team on the server. I believe that they had just gone through the Nether, they got the subspace portal advancement, and they were in a desert, or was it an extreme hills biome? Either way, you can see Team Zit here is huddled around together at the end of the season as they were the winning team. Now, Impulse was actually dead at that time, and what I would love to be able to do is to use the book system which we have on the Let's Play Minecraft Together server. You can manipulate armor stands so that they are in different poses, which is super cool. You can take away the base plate, you can give them arms, you can have them pointing and jumping and doing all sorts of cool stuff, and that would be wonderful right about now because we can make Impulse a floating invisible head just hanging out with his teammates. So Team Zit won with 94 points, and they played in ultra hardcore mode as well due to some confusion. Just to clarify, if you didn't know, Hardcore Hermits is hardcore mode, not ultra hardcore. The idea was to not slow down the pace of the game by having to worry about your health all the time. So we finished second with 90 points, Jevin, Biffa and Wells with 64, and then NHO with 34 points. And what we'll probably do is add extra statistics and signs, things like when players died, like what episode they died in, something like that. But anyway, I've got a graph to show you right about now. This was made by a Reddit user who goes by the name of MKMCatReddit, and I want to thank them for putting this together. This shows you the progress of the amount of advancements made by all the teams across the season. Well, in doing everything I've done in this episode, I've managed to unpack all of my shulker boxes, and at the moment I'm as messy as Scar, it would seem. And right now what I actually need to do is wrap this one up and go start work on Season 2. I've got to be setting up all the servers for the different teams to play on. And I'll tell you what, Season 2 is going to be a very interesting one. A totally different challenge from the advancement hunting. But anyway, that is it from me this episode of Hermitcraft. If you have enjoyed it, then leave a like on the video. As always, thank you for your support. And I will see you soon in the next episode of Hermitcraft. Ciao for now. Bye-bye.